conference last year. And Terry, as you can have understood, he has a conference chair. Thank you very much for taking care of that. Now I have to get use of this. Okay, so the program has been sent to you by email, but between each presentation, you will have time for a question or a coffee and tea break if you want to. My name is Stellan Kinberg. I am a math and natural science teacher, and I worked in Sweden. I volunteered in Kidlink since 1997, and I participated with my students in Sweden in several Kidlink projects, among other routes and response. I am now the chairman of the non-profit Kidlink Association that leads the Kidlink Project. I am now retired and living in Italy. Okay, so last year we had about 20 members, teachers subscribed to our Kidlink Google group, conference Google group. Now we have 84 members in our conference group. It's a lot more. And we have 42 of these members are also members in the Kidlink Global Conference group. I invite you all to request the membership to that group. It's a private group, but it's a very good group. If you want to know more, get in touch with the other teachers that are there. That's a very nice way to collaborate. Well, I will now talk about why choose the Kidlink Project. Well, we think these goals are very good. These were the first goals when the Kidlink Project started. And first thing is that we have no cost educational programs. And we want to overcome cultural barriers. It's a way to work for peace in the world. And we want to encourage creativity in social networks and have cross-cultural youth collaboration. But it's important to notice that in our projects, the students and pupils are the authors and creators, and the world is their audience. This is very important for one reason. Because also students around the world see their work, not only their teacher and parents. And that's a very, very big difference that I have seen myself. So they get more motivated and independent. But there is a thing you must think about, and that I had problems with my colleagues in my school, that the first time you participate in a global project, you need to invest some planning time. For example, a weekend maybe, or a few days during a vacation. But you get paid invaluable money. And what is it? It's for me that you come to the classroom and you have happy students. And when you talk with the parents, they are happy with you. And in my case, it happened that I got a very proud headmaster as he saw many more students coming to my school because of these projects. So it's really a win-win investment for you. Well, I think this is, even if this was a few years ago, is a thing we work for still today, that we won the Bangeman Prize in Sweden 1999. And we got the prize from the King of Sweden here. And this was the first chairman of the Kidlink Association, that was called at that time Kidlink Society from Norway. And they said that it was for recognizing practical and functional information technology projects, and very important, that benefit people and communities. We were very proud about that, and we want to continue. Maybe it would be nice to win another New Year this prize again. That would be nice. Well, I talked with a teacher today. I can say the name. It's Pia. I have collaborated with her many years now. And I talked with her by phone today. And I asked her, what made you abandon the other platforms and choose Kidlink? And this, I think, is maybe also interesting for you to see. In Europe, we have 3 projects, we can say, or a program that's called, one is Erasmus, that is sponsored by the European Union, but it's only for universities. So that's not our interest, so main interest. The Comenius program is also a European Union program, and sponsored by European Union, and in some cases also sponsored by European Union countries like Italy. Well, they are a little bit similar. So they have a much heavy bureaucracy. The headmaster must sign approval and give a participation guarantees, and the whole school must participate.
Great.
And Pia, she, despite the other, gave guarantees that I will maintain the time schedule and so on. They didn't, for different reasons. Things can happen in the school, internet problems or whatever. But so, and she asked for help to get in touch with the other teachers. She could not get help with them. She had her students working and wanted to send their work to the other school and got no response. And she got no help from neither eTwinning, the platform, eTwinning platform, or the Comenius program. She got no help. Something that she instead got with Kidlink. She got here a great moderator support when there was problems. And there were almost no bureaucracy. It was just to register and accept normal rules. Behave well, the students should not use bad words and like that. It's normal rules. And she found Kidlink, the Kidlink community, to be a very friendly community. And all kind of projects were accepted. There were no exclusion that they decided that headmaster decided what project you should attend to. And very important for her, Pia, was that she could alone attend a project. She didn't have to ask the headmaster and have a lot of other teachers in the project. So she could start alone. And not only, she could suggest her own idea about project. That's DD. I will talk about DD tomorrow, as I'm a project leader together with David for her project. I took over from her this project. So, and not only, there is another thing that she found very important, that in the twinning platform and community program, you could not look at the other projects, what they do and how they work. She could not do that. But in Kidlink, yes. She could go into www.kidlink.org and look for student examples. And she got a better idea about how the project worked. Well, so Kidlink Project offers also career opportunities. One said, I improved my English, and that is the case for me. I really improved my English. My English was very, very poor back in 1995. I got a better salary, said someone else. And one said, I got professional connections around the world. That she thought that was very important for her to learn from other teachers around the world. I became a better teacher. And I learned to lead school projects. And this has implications. To become a project leader, I will come back to that later. And one said, I became a school leader thanks to Kidlink Project. So this, I think, it may be important for you to know. Well, Kidlink has had a lot of students, and For all our students, the Kidlink Association, we check that we have a safe global environment for our students. You know the dangers that students come through on internet, you know that, and we check that. We want no images, photos from kids online available for everyone. We want, when some photos are shared, we want them to be in private groups, like we have several Facebook private groups. And these are portraits, just a few really. DD portraits that were made during the project DD that I took over from together with David from PIA. And if you Google DD portrait at the site wkidlink.org, you have to write /site to get only results from kidlink.org. You get an idea about the number of students that have participated in Kidlink projects. Okay, so Kidlink Association. I think it's important for you to know what it is. The Kidlink Association was previously registered in Sweden when I worked in Sweden, but as I moved and retired, moved to Italy, we decided to move the Kidlink Association to Italy. So now it is registered by the Italian authorities on Lipari, on this island where I live. That is one island of the Aeolian Islands that is north from Sicily. We are a non-profit organization. We make no money for our work. And we took over, as I said before, from the Kidlink Society in 2007. We have annual meeting every year. We listen to these members' wishes. And I think one of you here is a member in annual meet in the Kidlink Association, and we are very thankful for that. That we have members that are willing to pay a few euro for us, because we use these and other donations we get also from some teachers. We use all this money to pay our web server, online services, and our server administrator. No one among us in the board and among the project leaders gets some money. You can read more about it if you go to wkidlink.net and check the menu option KA. So, when did the Kidlink project start and where? It started in Arendal in Norway, in the south of a beautiful area in Norway, at the coast, where you can go to fish cod. It started in 1989 as a art project. And that first project that they started was led by the non-profit Kidlink Society, as I mentioned before. And as internet did not exist, they ran it on a university network. And this is a photo where you see a girl that is participating in a chat with other students here, old-fashioned computers and very small screen, black and white screens. And the first project was called Response, and it had 4 questions. And the first girl that sent in her answers were Crystal Belchior in Canada. She was 15 years old. That is back in 1990. So the first project had 4 questions. I am personally thinking that maybe we should get this project alive again. It had these 4 questions. Who am I? What do I want to be when I'm older? And how do I want the world to be a better place to live when I'm older? And I think that's a very good question to ask. And what can I do to help make the world a better place? It's also a very good question to think about for our young students. If you want to know more about that project, you do the same in Google. Click search for response /site to get only results from wkidlink.org. So what happened in 1995? In 1995, when I started to create pages for my school on internet, the Kidlink project came online on internet. It became accessible in internet. And many teachers joined the Kidlink project. And not only joined, they also added new project ideas. So the Kidlink project grew. So today we have 6 active projects with moderators. And 3 projects are being developed. Among others, Manuel is working to develop a very special project. He will for sure mention that later tomorrow. And then we have a lot of projects that we got from these teachers, these volunteers, and that you can find if you go to wkidlink.org and choose student works and choose archive, and you see a screen like this. These are only a few of them. So you can get, if you want to become a project leader and learn to do that, you can go in there and look, is there something you are interested to try with? And you will get all support to become a good project leader from us, me included, of course. Pia has been a very good helper and she helped me to become a good project leader too, and David too. So the Kidlink volunteers, I think we should dedicate a minute about this slide here. Here you see photos of some of the volunteers. We had 44 volunteers since 1991. You can find them if you Google Wall of Fame, Kidlink. And most of many are teachers, of course. Some are school leaders. But, and this is very interesting, I think. This man here and this man here were students in Kidlink Projects. They participated in the Response project as students in their classroom. And they became something very important for us. Robert Wittenbroek in Netherlands is one of them. Rodrigo Barbera is from Brazil. I met him in Peru once. We had a Kidlink conference there. And we had Grace Basilio, Peru. And they all are computer engineers now. Grace Basilio is now working now at Google. And she helped us move the server. I got a lot of help from her. Robert and Rodrigo are also computer engineers now, and they work in Robert. I think he's still in Netherlands. I remember Rodrigo is now in Canada working. Niccolo Ancelotti, I don't know actually what he's doing now, but he started participating in a project that is called Let Your Peace Kite Fly. And this was our first peace project. And this project was taken over and developed by Larissa Tarasevic, that will later present her project. And she called it then Doves for Peace. So she got inspiration from this project. Well, where do you find our projects? You find all information about our projects at wkidlink.net. It's mainly, of course, information for you, for teachers, and maybe also for school leaders. If you want to present a project that you are interested in to your school leader, you can open this site. And you can also go to kidlink.org, where you find student works to show. And of course, you will find also Kidlink in Facebook. We have several private groups. Almost each project has its private group. But you have to register to that project to be able to attend these groups. And then you can send an email to kidlinkproject@gmail.com, of course, if you want to ask for help for something. Maybe if you want to become a project leader, email kidlinkproject@gmail.com. So my personal best wish is that many of you will be part of our international team. So it's time for question and a coffee or tea break. Thank you. I stop sharing. Terry, for you the microphone.